When it comes to the great generals of history, who do you think of? Sun Tzu, Hannibal, Napoleon? Well, there's one more to be added to that list. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the sword of Allah, Arabic for God, the thorn of the Byzantines and the Persians, and the conqueror of Syria and Iraq, who was crucial in obtaining more land for the grey Muslim people of the Arabian desert. Ibn Walid hailed from Banu Makhzum, a military clan of the powerful Quraysh tribe in Mecca, before it was converted into the center of the Muslim world by the Prophet Muhammad. Being so well versed and talented in the military arts meant that it wasn't long before he gained command of the Quraysh cavalry troops, which he used to defeat the Prophet Muhammad and Medina soldiers at the Battle of Uhud in 625 AD, with the Quraysh deciding to attack the Muslims in Medina. It was in this battle that his strategic ingenuity came to light, due to him noticing a crucial pass defended by the Medina soldiers had been left unguarded for a moment. With him noticing this, al-Walid decided to attack the weak point and flank the Medina soldiers from behind, giving a victory to the Quraysh tribe. This would go on to be a relatively minor victory in his career in comparison to what he would go on to later accomplish. His later feat would only be possible after his conversion to Islam. Al-Walid was against the beliefs of Islam in the beginning. He was an aristocrat in the Arabic tribal society, and when he heard that many egalitarian teachings of Islam with regards to race, wealth and gender, it rubbed him the wrong way. However, just 4 years after the Battle of Uhud in 629, he himself converted to Islam after some self-reflection and watching the Muslim community grow into a powerful force. Soon after his conversion, he would go on to fight the powerful Byzantines at the Battle of Mu'tah, where he led a crucial retreat after the commander was killed in battle, saving countless lives. After this, he earned the moniker Saifullah, or the Sword of God, from the Prophet. Mecca was also taken, with al-Walid taking command of a force to rout the southern forces of the Meccan. The Muslims wouldn't just stop here, and that would mean a larger role for the general in future conquests, notably the conquest of what is now called Syria and Iraq. The ruler of these lands were the Byzantines and the Sassanids. Both of these forces were severely weakened due to the battling each other for 26 years, from 602 to 628. As a result, once the fighting stopped between the two, the Muslims chose to attack. First would be the Sassanids in modern-day Iraq, starting with the Battle of Chains, aptly named due to the Persian forces, led by General Hormuz, being chained together to prevent retreating. Al-Walid and his forces defeated them comprehensively, and Hormuz was killed in battle. After this, the Saifullah would go on to further demonstrate his tactical ingenuity as he defeated the Sassanids at the Battle of the River, using a double envelopment strategy. He lured the majority of the enemy forces using infantry to drag them into the center of the battlefield. Al-Walid's cavalry were then instructed to flank the Persians, dooming the chained enemies. This wasn't the only battlefield with a river nearby, as in the Battle of Ulais. The Persians were trapped near a river by the Muslim forces and massacred. The river Euphrates was called the River of Blood after the crushing defeats suffered by the Persians. Al-Walid and other forces would go on to siege and capture the city of Herat, before his final involvement in the Persian conquest, which was his most challenging, the Battle of Firaz. Here, he would face a combination of Sassanid, Byzantine and local Christian Arab forces. Knowing that he would be at a numerical disadvantage once the forces properly combined, al-Walid swiftly traversed the desert, aiming to reach them before they could properly integrate. The coalition aimed to use the riverbed as a protection from flanks, before foregoing that plan when a feigned retreat from al-Walid's forces caused them to pull away. The Muslim infantry fought them at the center of the battlefield, whilst the cavalry flanked from both sides, in another double envelopment tactic which worked just as well as during the Battle of the River. As a result, the coalition was defeated and Muslim hold of Iraq was strengthened, but before they could expand further, the Muslim Caliph Abu Bakr called for al-Walid to go to Syria, where they were having trouble against the Byzantines. The Levant was an important region for human development due to its strategic geographic position in between Asia and Anatolia. This position led to it being the crossroads of trade, leading to many civilizations arising here, namely the Phoenicians, Babylonians and the Syrians. And it was in this desirable area that was eventually taken by the Muslims, largely due to al-Walid, starting with the Battle of Ajnadain. This was where the Saifullah began to demonstrate his own tactical nous to the Byzantines. He faced up to 10,000 more heavily armoured troops than his own 20,000 in the desert terrain, and so he ordered his cavalry to flank their infantry several times and harass them, forcing them to break their formation and led them to their ultimate demise. This opened up the rest of the Levant to be taken at the expense of the Byzantines. Even the large fortress city of the Byzantines was taken, Damascus, the jewel of the desert, largely due to the Muslim victory at the Battle of Marj al-Safar. This was the event that would signal the end of Byzantine Syria, leading it to be captured and controlled by the Muslims. Khalid ibn al-Walid, with his infantry and fearsome cavalry, employed the same tactics he was known for, fast-moving troops to flank the slow and armoured Byzantines, harassing them every chance they got, as well as feigning retreats to drag the Byzantines into vulnerable positions. It was a complete and utter victory for the Muslims. Damascus was then laid to siege and captured, a city at the crossroads of trade with a population ranging from 50,000 to 100,000 people, becoming a key city for the Muslims, pushing the Byzantines further and further north. In a time span of 3 years, Khalid had dealt major blows to both the Persians and Byzantines and other local tribal leaders.